inspectors placed throughout various bituminous, concrete, precast, pre-stressed producer production facilities. Chris has 28 years experience in materials quality control. Please welcome Christopher Forry.
Good morning. It's a pleasure and an opportunity to represent the Turnpike this morning and to share a little bit with you about the Southern Beltway projects. Currently in 2019, the Turnpike has a total of 80 construction contracts with a combined value of $2+ billion. We have 34 varied contracting companies working on those contracts. You can take a look and see on the screen the capital plans for the Turnpike, and historically in 2016 we were at $660 million. As you look through that list in the years, you'll see at 2019, currently we are at a value of $543.7 million for our capital plan. We are anticipating to bid in calendar year 2019 $574.8 million in contracts. Part of that addition or that overage from what the capital plan would be, our independently funded programs would be part of that process as well at $186 million. The highway program itself is represented by a value of $463 million, with our facilities unit utilizing $43 million of that. Here you can see a bar chart of our capital plan, and you'll see currently as it begins with 2019 and extends out 9 years, we have a bit of a dip around 2021, 2022. Some of that is in relationship to Act 44, and it will be sunsetting, is scheduled to sunset on in 2022. That represents the $450 million payments that the Turnpike makes annually to PennDOT, which is utilized in the Pittsburgh and Philadelphia areas for mass transit. Representatives of the Turnpike have been working with those agencies and with our leaders in the state government, working and finding alternative sources for that income once the resources and the flow of money ceases from the Turnpike. Again, this is a similar chart that's showing the proportions of the highway plan in relationship to the capital plan. And again, you'll see there's just a slight dip around 2021 and 2022, and then we continue to climb once again. This chart will give you an overview of the percentages of what represents our total capital plan. You can see our highways are the largest portion at 78.5%, with our facilities followed at 7.8%, with fleet management, technology, cashless tolling, and our broadband initiatives making up the balance of our capital plan. The highway program itself is made up of total reconstruction being the largest piece in that pie. Our total reconstruction projects, I'm sure if you travel to the Turnpike, you've noted those, are multi-year. They're at 36.8%. We have roadway safety following closely behind at 27.4%. And then bridges and tunnels and our structures at 11.1%. Our interchanges follow at 10%. And then highway miscellaneous expenses, cashless tolling, and our broadband networks make up the balance of our highway program. Some of you may have heard in the past or familiar with Turnpike 576 that is being constructed at this point in time. It is in south of Pittsburgh from State Route 22, will connect then east to Interstate 79. This is a picture of the 9 sections or contracts that represent that corridor. you'll see starting with 55A1 as it intersects with Route 22 and moves across to the east to Interstate 79. Some of the highlights of the Southern Beltway are that we have 13 miles of mainline roadway. We have 2 cashless tolling gantries that will be installed east and westbound. We have 7 pairs of mainline bridges, 5 local bridges. There are 4 bridges on the Interstate 79 tie-in alone. There is over 25 million cubic yards of excavation required to complete the project. We have 13,200 feet of pre-stressed concrete bridge beams for an estimated total cost of $770 million. We are fortunate to have 9 prime contractors on our Southern Beltway corridor. Contracts that have been completed so far, first is Mercedes. They started an early action contract on constructing 2 flyover bridges at State Route 22. The contract value was $14.4 million and was completed in 2015. That was followed by our Section 55W, which amounted to a wetland mitigation project that was done by Caston Baker. That had a contract value of $954,000 and was completed in December of 2016. Next to be completed just this past year was our Section 55 ABC that was held by Golden Triangle at a price of $4.7 million, which amounted to the cashless tolling component that was installed on our Finley connector. We have 2 contracts yet to bid in 2019 for the corridor of the Southern Beltway. Section 55S was actually bid on February 13th, but has yet to be awarded. And pending next month in March will be 55M, and that will be for the construction of a maintenance facility for this section of roadway, and it has various components involved in it. The Southern Beltway contracts that are under construction, starting at Route 22 and heading east to 79. First of all is Section 55A1, that is held by Independence Excavating at a contract value of $96.3 million. It is currently at 88% completion. That's followed by Trumbull Corporation with Section 55A2, a contract value of $116.1 million and is 4% complete. Next we have Section 55B. It's handled by Joseph B. Fake Company, and their contract value is $96.4 million and is 77% completed. Beaver follows with Section 55C1-1 at $87 million and is 49% complete. Trumbull again is followed with Section 55C1-2 at a contract value of $37.7 million and is 41% complete currently. Walsh Corporation has taken Section 55C21. It's the largest section on the Southern Beltway corridor. It represents the tie-in with Interstate 79 at $174.3 million, and they received notice to proceed on February 4th of this year. Independence Excavating has Section 55C-2 for a contract value of $23.6 million and is 16% complete. Section 55T, which represents signage and cashless tolling, with a contract value of $4 million, and they will be installing the cashless tolling gantries on the Southern Beltway project, and they have yet to complete anything on that contract. This whole corridor will be open to traffic in the year 2022. Currently, we have 2 paving contractors working on the Southern Beltway project. Section 55A1, we have the Anthony Allega Cement Contracting, and we have Golden Triangle Construction, who has begun their process of paving on Section 55B late this past fall. They will then this spring be working to move forward to Section 55C1-1 and Section 55C1-2. The main line roadway consists of 6 inches of 2A subbase. We see sections that are being bid with limestone. We have other sections that are also being bid with air-cooled blast furnace slag. That's followed by 4 inches of asphalt-treated permeable base or cement-treated permeable base course. The travel lanes are 12 inches in depth, and that's LLCP. We have a left lane width of 12 feet, and the right lane is a 14-foot width with a 2-foot effective shoulder. There's a 2% cross slope with a mounded median is the design. The shoulders are 10 feet in width, variable depth LLCP. On the right, the left shoulder is 4 foot variable depth LLCP. This is a shot of Allega's portable plant on Section 55A1. Pardon me. This is during the batching process. This picture from as they were working at producing and shipping LLCP. There you can see a triaxle being loaded with the mixture. For the most part, triaxles were utilized on this section of the project to transport the LLCP to the paver. There were, I think, 3 Agitor trucks used as well by Allega. Here you will get a shot of some of the aggregate as it's cooling, as moistures and gradations are being anticipated. Here's a shot of the rolled zinc-clad tubular dowels in their baskets, and they are secured to the asphalt-treated permeable base. This is the application of the Tecti 506 lubricant, the bond breaker that's being applied prior to the paving process. To give you a look at the preparation that's been done prior to paving, you can see the baskets and dowels are securely anchored to the asphalt-treated perm base. The tie bars are straight, fully painted, and have been installed into the keyway. Again, you get an idea for the 12-inch slab, the roadway, the tie bars as they're installed at a 30-inch on-center spacing. Again, just another shot of the concrete placement process. Gives you a look at the finishing from once the paver is moving forward in the paving process. Here they're doing some testing. They're going to slump their airs, making their compression cylinders. Also, samples were lifted as required for water cement ratio verification as they're performing AASHTO T318 at various intervals. Here with the 10-foot level or straight edge and the smart level, they are checking for cross slope. Vertical tining is specified in this project, and there you get a close-up look at the burlap drag and the longitudinal tining as it's taking place. Bulkhead prep at the end of the day, you can see that's taking place in this shot, and once the form is removed, the bulkhead butt joint as they will begin the next day's paving. Something we do a little different, we utilize white concrete single-face precast barrier. They're 57-inch in height. We place these white barrier on the approaches, on our bridge approaches, to catch the traveling public's attention, to let them know that they are transitioning from the roadway onto a structure. We find the white concrete and its added reflectivity plays a key role in this function. We use the white concrete for not only our precast barrier, but also the slab-mounted barrier, as well as the parapet on our bridge structures. This was a flyover done by CDR McGuire, and I utilized it to give you an idea of currently where the project stands, where we'll take off in the spring. If you look right front and center, that's Route 22, looking east, and you can look to the top of that picture and you see that white ribbon extending the full length. We have made quite a bit of progress. If you were on the bus tour back in August, we crossed that 22 bridge and the paving train was immediately on the other side. So you can see quite a bit of progress has been made despite the inclement, wet, and rainy weather of 2018. This is a shot of Golden Triangle's portable plant with Section 55B. They opted to use cement-treated perm base. This was a day that they were paving. And note that there are no dowels or baskets in the picture. Golden Triangle uses a dowel and tie bar inserter in their paving process, therefore eliminating the need for baskets. Again, concrete cylinders being made, testing of airs and slumps taking place. Here you'll see the straight edging operations taking place and some finishing, and a shot of currently where we'll be picking up in the spring of 2019. I must say, as I've been on site at both sections and witnessed the paving process, Joe Allega of Allega Concrete and Dave has been on site during the paving process. Both these companies are paying a great deal of attention to the detail, and it's a testament to their commitment to provide a quality roadway. As I stated earlier, if you were on the bus tour this past summer in 2018, we had the opportunity to see firsthand the progress that was being made on Section 55A1 and Section 55B. This is a shot as we were up on top at Section 55B. We also had the opportunity to see some paving on 376 by the airport and look at Golden Triangle's portable plant there. See the smart air meter being just demonstrated and some other new technology, which was very beneficial. Part of the long life concept is the component of just-in-time training. What that does is basically try and get all the players in the room, Turnpike representatives, consultants, we're looking for subcontractors, anyone involved with the LLCP placement process. It's done to get everyone together to review LLCP concepts, to review best practices, what quality control, familiarize everyone with the specifications, and to get everybody on board as to how do we implement the quality control, and if there's issues, who's contacted, when, and why, and how do we correct the issues. This is a picture of the just-in-time training that was held at the Quicksilver Country Club's facility prior to the placement of LLCP paving on 55A1. The facilitators or presenters were John Becker and Rich Uhall, who did a fantastic job in fostering and presenting information, fostering questions and dialogue between the various parties in the room. Some of the challenges that we have seen with the implementation of the long life concrete pavement specification, which for the Turnpike is a special provision of F34 in our contracts, is the sample point for the AASHTO T318 microwave testing, which is used as verification of the water cement ratio being at the point of placement. The water cement ratio initiative is paid per printed batch ticket and batcher mixer slips. The tracking of lot payment incentive disincentive data, and thus we've worked at the creation of an Excel spreadsheet to calculate lot payment values. Just a quick overview of our special provision F34 in section 501(3)(b. It states that the concrete must be placed with a water cement ratio in order to achieve incentive, of a 0.037 to a 0.042. The representative is then responsible to calculate and determine the water cement ratio for the sublots and lots being placed. The cementatious content is taken from and calculated via the batch tickets and delivery tickets. As you can see, you have a batch ticket and your batcher ticket or your batch mixer slip. It's imperative that when these values are calculated for water cement ratio that you're using the correct batcher mixer slip. As we calculate those in a minimum of every 4 hours, sometimes more or quicker than that, maybe on a 2-hour basis or as needed. And it's imperative that we use the correct free water from the aggregates in inclusion with the weights noted on our delivery tickets so that we get the correct water cement ratio calculated. What this has meant is we developed a spreadsheet to calculate the batcher mixer slip data along with delivery ticket data. We went through and verified that the values were correct and the correct amount of free water was being used to calculate the water cement ratio. When we did a comparison of the actual water cement ratio as per those printed weights in relation to the AASHTO T318 microwave test water cement ratio values, we found that 29% of the lots matched up spot on. They were the same. However, we saw that 46% of the lots were higher, meaning the 318 testing data showed a higher water cement ratio than what was actually batched, with 25% of the lots being lower for the LLCP placed on Section 55A1. Throughout that process, we have come to question whether the sample point for the T318 testing should be actually at the concrete plant. We are of the opinion we're paying on the actual printed ticket data at the point of loading. We're kind of the mindset at this point that if the concrete tech at the plant was actually doing the sampling for the microwave verification testing, that it would eliminate some of the variability of different personnel and inspection staff sampling out at point of placement. It would also take out the variability that as the paving train moves farther away from the batching operations of getting that sample back to the concrete lab, as you have 45 minutes from the time the water contacts cement to begin that testing protocol, that issue or that hurdle would be eliminated. And we just feel that a lot of the variability, the way things are right now with the testing or sampling at point of placement, could be eliminated, thus maybe increasing the correlation between the AASHTO T318 water cement ratio values in conjunction with the actual batch tickets. Data for calculating the lot payment water cement ratio we found after this first year of paving was a challenge. In order to calculate the lot payment for the LLCP, you have to track the compressive strength of your lots and sublots. You have to consider the depth of your paving, and also then, of course, the water cement ratio needs to be tracked and calculated. Again, we found that our resources were somewhat limited to collecting that data in one place, to also being able to log that data for the entire section or contract. We felt that was imperative. So therefore, we are working on an Excel spreadsheet that will calculate single lot payments, also the incentive payments, should there be, for each lot and sublot for the entire contract. This is a screenshot of what that sheet looks like. We were working on this in conjunction with Don Schrock, who's doing a fantastic job for us in our materials unit. He's working to put the finishing touches on this, work closely with him. You'll see at the top we begin with 4 inputs for batcher mixer slip data. We did some research and found that in none of our lots do we have more than 3 batcher mixer slips. We added a 4th input just in case for some reason it would be needed. And then following the next data entry section is our batch ticket data with 7 sublots. As most times we have 4 sublots in placement, but with partial sublots sometimes we can get to the extent of 7. Followed by the input for the AASHTO T318 test data. We then have 2 more inputs, one for the depth and the other for the compressive strength data. Once all these fields are filled in, the bottom right-hand corner, you will see then the blue circle. It will calculate your lot payment data and also the value for the incentive for that lot. Another incentive that can be earned on our contract is concrete pavement ride and quality. That incentive is our special provision F28. And it notes that if a lot is not subject to any corrective action, you follow Schedule U of Table A with the IRI numbers. And if there is corrective action deemed necessary for the lot, once that action has been taken care of or completed, you run the IRI and you follow Schedule C. There's a picture of Table A. Earn as much as 8% in incentive if you do not need to take any corrective action for ride quality, and if you have been mandated to take corrective action, you can still earn as much as a 5% incentive for ride quality. Are there any questions? I want to thank John Becker and Rich Uhal for their support, as they are valuable resources not only for this industry but also for the agencies as they go back and forth with suggestions and as we see problems arise from time to time. Also a special thanks to our partners at PennDOT. Neil Fannin has been excellent to work with. I spoke with him a couple weeks ago at Penn State as we discussed some of the issues with long life concrete paving. In his words, it's a learning curve, and through the process of actually utilizing these specifications, we'll continue to refine them and to a point where the agencies, both PennDOT and the Turnpike, are able to achieve the quality levels they're looking for, but also remaining to keep them available to the contractors that they can acquire those incentives as well. Garth Breidenball has also offered insight as we've been working with this process. And Kevin Nagy has also been in contact with us and had some conversation concerning what he has seen on the completion of Route 219 in District 9 in southern Somerset County, as it had a couple components of long life concrete as well. And again, we certainly appreciate the dialogue between these persons and PennDOT as we all seek to improve the quality of our roadways. Thank you very much.